Hello, my name is Casey Moore. I manage the Waterloo APS service line within Cascade Remediation Services. It's part of one of our high resolution site characterization tools. And I'll be walking you through an overview of the tool, its strengths, weaknesses. So the APS is a high resolution groundwater sampling tool. So you're getting a real-time readout and a data set of the hydraulic conductivity of the overburdened soil you're pushing this tool through. And then you have the ability to stop and collect discrete groundwater samples. So here I have a APS tip with me. The screens are about 4 inches in length, and water is injected through stainless steel tubing out the tip here as it's being advanced. And then the screens have mesh behind the plates here to reduce turbidity when you're sampling groundwater. So groundwater samples are collected from an inline sampling jig that's actually plumbed into our APS box before the pressure transducer and the flow meter. So you can just grab vials of groundwater once groundwater parameter collection is stabilized, and that's done through a YSI water quality meter. It measures pH, ORP, specific conductance. So the data is then turned around to the client ASAP after hole completion and QC, and that includes a hydrostratigraphic log or a plot and all of those groundwater parameter readings for the samples. So this tool can be advanced with a direct push drill rig. It has also been advanced with a CPT rig, which uses the static weight of the rig and hydraulic advancement. But it can be set up in, a van, an ATV, on a folding table. So it's very versatile, can be put into a lot of different sites. The sample collection itself, we only collect groundwater with this tool. It's not a soil sampling tool. The only soil data we get is that conductivity, the hydraulic conductivity through the soil. So that's given in real time on the operator's laptop, and then it gets sent back, QC'd, and put into an Excel file for a deliverable to the client. The actual sample collection, we revamped this tool recently to remove any sources of PFAS contamination, which some of the ball valves had been Teflon, so that's a contaminator. So we removed all of those components. It is now fully stainless steel and HDPE tubing. So we recommend and market this tool as one of the premier PFAS groundwater sampling tools. But it's also great for VOC sample collection. The box is plumbed for VOC vial collection, and we can fill other types of bottleware for metals and other analysis with adapters. But the soil lithology that we typically provide this in is ideally a sandy or silty material. We don't like proposing this tool in a very dense clay or other lithologies, because we just won't be able to collect groundwater samples easily out of such a narrow screen length. The alternatives to this tool very often are screen point samplers, which span a larger length under the ground. It's sometimes easier to get water out of those tight zones like clays with those tools, or the traditional well installation, either temp well or permanent monitoring wells that can be monitored over the course of a year. But this is, really for a real-time, quick data collection, quick sample collection turnaround, because clients are often looking to move to remediation or further delineation right after they get this data set. The log helps our operators really identify these high flow zones to sample with, so it can be a very dynamic investigation. Our clients are very interested in that. They don't want to go in blind, so this is a good way to see this soil data real time and make educated decisions in the field, which our operators are trained on. So, when's a good time to propose this? It's definitely more efficient than traditional screen point or well installation sampling when you have a certain number of samples within a certain borehole. Usually about after 3 or 4 requested groundwater intervals is when the APS tool becomes efficient, because it's one continuous push. You don't have to pull the tool to sample. So as you're driving, you're collecting hydraulic conductivity. You stop and take your sample, and then you right away advance the tool and continue the boring without removing the tooling. So that's where the efficiencies come into play. It really gives you a better idea of design for remediation action plans. The clients have these groundwater samples analyzed, and more often than not, we get a chance to see that data. So it's great to see how this tool, provides a very beneficial data set. And that's about it. We can, really put this tool out there in any groundwater sampling efforts. And, the high resolution data set is something we really sell as a differentiator for traditional groundwater sampling methods. Thanks for your time.